This is Stuart Cameron with a look at yesterday's rugby. And let's start with Scotland's disastrous result in losing to Tonga for the first time in history at Aberdeen by 21 points to 15. The Pacific Islanders, whose population is just over 100,000, outscored Scotland 2-0, with Greg Laidlaw kicking Scotland's points with 5 penalties. It was a shocking result, and not for the first time questions are being asked by the media and supporters about head coach Andy Robinson and whether he should still be leading us into next year's Six Nations campaign. Here's what he had to say at the press conference.
That was a totally unacceptable performance. From my side, I'm very angry about what I've seen, and I'd like to apologise to the supporters that have come and seen that today. There will be consequences because of this performance. I won't go through what those will be yet, but from my side, just totally unacceptable. I've got a contract to 2015, but I'll be, from the performance of what we've seen today, rightly so, there needs to be consequences for what happened. And I'll be at the forefront of those discussions.
Scotland lock Ali Kellock.
We work incredibly hard to get the opportunity to play, and we let ourselves down now. We let the supporters down, we let the coaches down. We've had fantastic support over these 3 games. That, I suppose, is one of the hardest things to take, that we've got an opportunity, we're on that park, we didn't do it justice.
To local rugby now, and at the Green Yards there was a huge game between Melrose and Gala in the Premiership, and in a tight game it was the Maroons who walked off with the 4 points to put them top of the table, 2 points clear of Ayr, who they face at Millbrae next week. They scored 2 tries from Grant Somerville and a penalty try, the 6th of the season, with Lee Miller converting both and adding a penalty. For Melrose, all their points came from penalty goals, Richard Mill kicking 2, Joe Helps and Andrew Skeen getting the others. Reaction first from Gala head coach George Graham.
All I'm bothered about was getting the 4 points, and we managed that, and I thought the boys played really well in parts, but some of the times we just didn't execute what we'd planned to do. But I thought the defensive commitment, certainly when we lost it, both our front row players went off the sin bin, and I thought our defence was just phenomenal, and it just showed the spirit that these guys have got. They 10 minutes or 12 minutes that both of them were off, they never scored a point, and I think psychologically that's a huge boost to the players, because if they can't score against 13, they're going to struggle to score against 15. And I think that's what's going through their mind. And all credit to the boys, they dug deep and they covered for the 2 guys that were off for 10 minutes.
Melrose influential player coach John DL.
The first 55 minutes of that game, there wasn't a doubt who was the team on top today, and we put a lot of effort in that, which we knew we did, and we knew Gala get strong in that third quarter, and there's quite an organised defence, but it really probably came down to the last 15 minutes when we had a lot of possession. Gala were on the rack to took down to 13 men and just didn't keep the ball, so we're just purely and utterly gutted with the way that we performed in that last 15 minutes there, and if we can't get to 2 or 3 phases, we're never going to show the advantage of that, the 2-man head count that we had there, and with a wee bit more composure we should have finished that game off, and I think Gala know that as well today. But when the momentum's with you, we've had that for a long time. Credit to Gala as well, they did enough. 2 times in the game that they had a chance to go for the jugular, and they got 2 good tries out of it.
Yesterday saw round 2 of the Borders Shield competition, the innovative round-robin tournament involving our 7 local East League sides. Langham stay top with another 5-point win, this time at home to Hawick Harlequins by 29-0. Among the try scorers for Langham were Gavin Campbell, Stuart Graham and a brace from Colin Jardine. We hear from Langham president Jake Little.
We had a difficult game against the Quins. They started off pretty physical and getting in, but the conditions dealt on them in the end. We just had too much power that secured us the ball. Both teams try to play rugby in bad conditions, but with just a little more experience in the Langham team made the big difference.
Berwick beat their local rivals Duns 29-15, but didn't have it all their own way by any means. It's 2 out of 2 for them though, and Gareth Hill enjoyed a couple of tries for the men from Scremerston. Let's hear from former Berwick president Colin Frame.
Really the first half performance was the thing that won it for us. We scored a couple of opportunistic tries. Really the forwards won enough possession, looked solid in the scrum for us to let our backs run, and they scored some good tries. It's always good to beat the local rivals, and they certainly didn't lie down to us. They came back into it in the second half, and this season we've had sort of 20-minute spells where the second half hasn't gone so well, and we did the same this week. Duns still carried on fighting right to the end, and I think it was a good physical contest, what rugby's really all about in the Borders.
In the other Shield game, Hoyt Lindeen beat Earlston 38-20, with Barry Sutherland, the star man for Lindeen, converting 4 of his team's 6 tries and scoring a hat-trick of tries himself. The other scorers were Graham Colville, Nathan Murray and Sean Goodfellow. Next week, it's round 3 of the Shield, with unbeaten Gala YM going head-to-head with leaders Langham. That's at Netherdale. Elsewhere, the big match in Scotland is Gala against Ayr, first v second at Millbrae, with the winner of that game guaranteed to be top of the table in 7 days' time, and also a chance for Gala to reclaim the Bill McLaren Shield. Only 2 of our 8 senior sides are at home next week, with Kelso hosting Glasgow Hawks. That's at Pointer Park, and Hoyt YM taking on Haddington at Mansfield Hawk in the Championship. Remember, for all the news, results, video, audio and rankings, go to bordersrugby.net.
Stark, Main & Co. are a UK award-winning firm of chartered tax advisors and accountants committed to offering high-quality tax and business advisory services. With a committed and professional team, we have the focus and drive to help you change the numbers which are important to you. We are proud of the difference we can make together.